Hello, everyone. It is Adrienne Rivera. I wanted to come in here and talk about the three mistakes that I see coaches and healers making. I was inspired to come live because I just got done doing a one-on-one business coaching call with someone that has completed our breathwork certification. That's one of the things that we do at the end of the certification that's pretty cool, is like sitting down with them and mapping out, okay, how do you want to add breathwork to your business? So what I want to share with you is, we'll get right into it. Number one, the biggest mistake that I see. And this is where, I think a lot of people get confused, because it's like, oh, should I be doing $19 things and then $100 things and then working my way up the value ladder? Or should I be selling high ticket? There's this massive confusion that I feel people are feeling. I hear this a lot when people are second guessing their prices, especially if something is not selling. I will say one thing. If your high ticket offer is not selling, you either don't have the right audience, you haven't built the right audience, meaning you don't have the right people that you're talking to. Maybe you haven't built your email list or a Facebook group yet, or your messaging is not speaking to one person. For example, let's say you have a awesome healing course that's 6 months, it's a group coaching program, and it's 5K. If you were to offer that, then, and you're just like, hey, come heal yourself, and it's not really speaking to one result that they're gonna get or to one person, people read it and they're like, oh, well, that's nice, but I've seen a lot of other healing things. Or, oh, that's nice, but I'll just go to my local Reiki practitioner. Or, oh, that's nice, I'll just go get a massage. And it's not the same as what you're trying to make, which is a whole holistic healing program. So when you speak to one person, you speak to one person, and that person says, wow, this was made for me and I want this. So my first point here is climbing the value ladder with a low ticket offer. So this is actually the number one mistake that I see new entrepreneurs doing. And it's not that this strategy is wrong. It's just that I feel that this is a strategy for people that are further along in their business and already have an email list of several thousand people. So if you're a new entrepreneur, your focus should be building relationships, deep relationships, really getting to know people in your community that you know you can serve and help in a deeper way. Having intimate sales calls, having deep conversations where people feel seen, heard, you've built that know, like, and trust, and you sell high ticket first. It is way easier to sell one 5K client a month if you're just starting out than it is to sell, I think math is hard. I think it's 50 people into an $100 thing, which I think equals 5K, something like that. Anyways, selling 50 people into anything takes time. I believe that you need to have a big community of thousands of people and really dialed in messaging if you desire to sell 50 people into something. So I wanted to share that. If you're new, what does new mean? In this context, we'll say if you're making less than $2,000 a month, then build relationships and sell high ticket first. This means that you can have an offering that is between 3 and 5K to start. That seems to be a really awesome number that a lot of people in my mastermind start with, and they get results. So whenever you choose your pricing, it should feel good for you. I often use intuition, as well as looking at the marketplace and seeing, okay, what are other people doing? And then trying that on. Does this feel low? Does this feel just right? Or does this feel too high? And it's kind of like the Goldilocks method. This oatmeal is too hot and this one is just right. So you will find that as you grow as an entrepreneur, you will be able to feel that your value is changing, and it should. As entrepreneurs, we are investing thousands of dollars often into our business, into our own coaches, into business coaching, into life coaching, into therapy, into things that make our craft better so that we can pour more into our clients. And as we get better, we get to charge more. It's like, someone who's gone to a PhD generally makes more because they've done their work a little longer than someone who hasn't done a PhD. So it's kind of like that. Our education forms are very different. They're more new age, they're coaches, and often I know I've probably learned more than a lot of people would in an MBA through all the business coaches that I've hired, investing over like $150,000 at this point. So that is like a college degree, and it's an accelerated way of doing it. So again, if you're a new entrepreneur, build relationships, that is your focus, and then sell high ticket first. Focus there. That's all you have to do. If that's all you needed to hear today, you're good to go, but I have a lot more value to share, so feel free to stay on. My second point with climbing the value ladder with a low ticket offer is after you have several thousand people on your email list, then it's a great time to climb the value ladder. So what is a funnel? A funnel is like imagine there's a wide pond, and you're like taking a net, you're casting the net, and you're like narrowing it down, and you get that one fish that you've been hunting for, essentially. So a funnel is taking a broad audience and then moving them through steps to get them to a desired action, which is usually to buy something from you. So in the process of a funnel, I'll give you an example of what it means to climb the value ladder. So in my business, I have a try my Sunday breathwork class for free. So that could be step one of the value ladder. Come to breathwork, try it free on Sunday. And then you love it, and then you join the membership. And now you're in my energy, you're doing breathwork all the time, and it's awesome. And then you get a series of emails, and it's like, you should totally become breathwork certified and add this to your business because you could help your clients in such a deeper way and empower them to find their own answers within. And then they join breathwork certification. And then they're like, wow, this is amazing, but I need more business support, and I'm getting clients, but how do I automate this, and how do I scale? And then they join high level mastermind for business coaching, which includes a lot of breathwork for their own channeling in their business. So that's an example of going up the value ladder. Going up a value ladder means like free, low ticket, a little bit higher ticket, and then high ticket. Like it goes up in price. Now, I don't recommend this if you are a new entrepreneur. If you find that you are a new entrepreneur and you are doing sales calls, you are doing enrollment conversations, you are building relationships, and you come across someone who's ready for the big fish, sell them the big fish, do the big fish. Don't think that you need to work your way up the value ladder. That might be something that you never heard before. And you get to just trust that working your way up the value ladder is not what you need to do always. If I come across someone who's ready for the mastermind, which at this point in time includes the Peru retreat and the breathwork certification for free, which my business coach says, don't do that. That's way too much value. Like take those away. But we're keeping that until it feels right to change it. Like the offer that I feel most aligned with that has so much value. It's like everything that you could need, like all of what I offer in one thing. If I come across someone who's like ready to scale their business, they know what they do, they're already making money in their business, they love breathwork, they want to add breathwork to their business, they would love to come to Peru, like all the things, I'm just going to sell them the mastermind. Like I don't have to think about, oh, well, first you got to try my free thing, and then you got to pay my membership, and then you got to like, it doesn't always work that way. So climbing the value ladder works really well when you have a big audience and you're just letting it run in the background because you're no longer doing sales conversations one-to-one, and you're letting your emails sell the next step for you. So that is hopefully what you're taking away is like, okay, should I be climbing the value ladder? Should I not? If you're making a few thousand in your business, still sell high ticket first, but then start to build that value ladder in the back end, and that will support you. Number 3, create your golden offer. I have a mini course actually called Your Golden Offer, and it's perfect because Breath of Gold and the Gold Frequency Mastermind and Breath of Gold earrings, all things gold. Your golden offer essentially is your golden offer. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's your baby. It's like my mastermind is my golden offer. It's like everything that you've poured into that has all aspects of you, that is your best offer that you could ever create, that you believe in so much with your whole body, your whole heart. And ideally, it is 6 months or longer. So 6 months, 9 months, a year. And people are paying you on a payment plan. So the easy example is, what if you had something where they pay you $2,000 a month for 6 months, you were to enroll 10 people into it in January, then you have reoccurring income of $20K every single month for the first half of the year. it's not that hard to make six figures if you have that set up for yourself. So having those payment plans really support in getting to your revenue goals in the long term, because you've set yourself up for success, and you're also helping the client more, because 6 months, you can assume, if you're really good at what you do, like, they're going to get the results. Like, 6 months is a long time. They're going to embody what you preach. They're going to learn the lessons from your modules. They're going to take the coaching from your one-on-one calls and go from there. That's the other thing about the golden offer. I highly recommend that it's a hybrid model. What does this mean? It means some of it is self-pay/group, and the other part is one-on-one. You don't have to be the person that does one-on-one. For example, we have 3 coaches in my mastermind. I'm one of them. We have a one-on-one leadership coach who is amazing, and he does weekly one-on-one calls, which is also something like my business coach is like, that's too much value. You don't need to add all those one-on-one calls. I'm like, and if I want them to get really good testimonials, I'm going to give them what they need, right? So one-on-one calls are amazing, and I don't have to do them. I have someone who I've hired who I think is even better than me, and he's also my one-on-one coach. So obviously I believe in him if he's coaching me, and I trust him to coach my people. And then I have the tech coach who helps people build their funnels, who helps people organize the tech, the back end, figure out what kind of system to host all their platforms on, find an all-in-one solution. She builds my funnels as well. She's also one of my best friends, so it's pretty amazing. And I'm going to pause here because I see some awesome comments here. Angelie, yes, thank you. Thank you for taking these notes. So amazing. If your high ticket offer is not selling, you don't have the right audience, or your messaging isn't speaking to one person. Yes. Amazing. Yeah, you got the notes going. So good. I love that. And you even found a gold heart for your gold offer. That's awesome. All things gold. You're catching the vibe. Okay, so number 2, the second mistake that I see a lot of coaches making, and healers, both of them. I'm putting them in one category because coaches change people's lives, so do healers. Often my clients are both. They consider themselves to be both coaches and healers. So, overcomplicating your message. Often my clients and people that come to me think that what they do is just so complicated. And here's the thing. You're special, but I don't want to say you're not that special, but it's just like your message really can be so dialed in that it doesn't have to be that complicated. It can really be one sentence. It can really be streamlined in a way. It doesn't have to be, I help this kind of person with this kind of thing in this stage of their life. It doesn't have to be so complicated. Yes, speak to one person in your messaging, but don't overcomplicate it. So my first point here is, what are the words that your ideal client is saying when describing their struggle? This is key. In fact, the reason why this came up was because when I was doing a little audit on a client's Instagram, I saw that they were saying like transforming your pain, like transform your pain into pleasure, transform your pain into your breakthrough, transform your pain into your medicine, like whatever, like we've seen this kind of messaging before. I like it, but my question for you is your client going to bed at night thinking, I'm in so much pain, I have so much pain, I just need someone to find my pain and fix my pain? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe that they're saying I'm in pain. Like, I don't think so. What I think they're saying is, I feel overwhelmed, I'm anxious, I feel stressed. Like those I hear time and time after again, and like that's what they know it is. Of course, we see it as pain. Like, how could you be going to bed every night and losing sleep over all these thoughts and all this overwhelm that's in your head? That is when we get to really learn what they're saying. So it's like, imagine that if your client were to go to a therapy session, what would they say is their struggle? Like, they'd come to the call and they'd be like, I know what I'm going to work on this week, blah, 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 this is my struggle. That is the type of wording that you want to use. So the best way to find your wording is not through asking your business coach. It's not through guessing. It's not through any of that. It's through surveying your ideal target market. And how you can do that today is you can do Instagram stories. So what I recommend is doing like Instagram story polls, like different slides with different polls, and start asking them questions that you would need to know to describe their pain and their pleasure. Pain, pleasure, meaning their vision, what do they want to create in their life, and what is holding them back. So pain, pleasure, vision, what's holding them back. All right. So number 2 is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to teach a ton of things. Just focus on one thing. Can you focus on teaching one thing per post and make one little mindset shift every single post? When you can do that, your client really feels like they can digest what you're teaching and they don't feel overwhelmed. If your client feels overwhelmed and they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do, or whoa, I have all these problems, or whoa, there's so much that I didn't know about this topic, that's not going to make them think that they're confident in enrolling into your program, because if they don't have time to read your post, are they going to have time to invest in your high-level program? Probably not. So number 3 is simplify your message. This is where you go from you need to do breath work, you need to do theta healing, you need to do Reiki with me, to do you struggle with anxiety? I can help you with that. So I like to think about this as like caveman language and then spruce it up with how you actually talk. So you don't have to, like, imagine there's a caveman, he's sleeping in bed and he's kept up awake, he's anxious, and you're trying to say this complicated message of, caveman, this is why you need theta healing, and you need to, lie down and talk to me in this certain way, and you need to do it for an hour, and it has to look like this, and this is the most powerful modality, and let me tell you why. He's going to be like, wait, what? Like, he doesn't understand half the words you're saying. So often, this is really a problem that I see a lot with healers. Healers struggle with putting what they do into words that make sense to non-healers, people that haven't done a million certifications, people that just know that they want to feel better. It's really that simple. I just want to feel better. How do I feel better? Do I need a healer? Okay, tell me why I need a healer. Like, what will you heal me of? Like, how will this help my life? So imagine, caveman, he's lying down, and you say, you have anxiety? I help you with that. So it's just like, you have this? I help you with that. You thirsty? Here's some water. So it's just literally that simple, where you can literally boil down the message. And obviously you'd spruce it up. You wouldn't just say 2 sentences in a post. You would make it sound like you would add value, you would make it fun, you'd add your cherry on top, spruce it up. But you want to think about, after you read each piece of content, what was the main takeaway? What are people going to do next? How is this actually going to serve my ideal clients and make a difference? One of the things that I love that one of my past business coaches said was, he said, I reckon you will help a lot more people in your free stuff than you ever will your paid clients. And he said, because you're speaking to thousands of people and people are going to see your free things on Instagram, on Facebook, in your Facebook group. And that's awesome. Help people, change the world. That's why we're all in this. And so when we can really make sure that our messaging is simple, we can ensure that we're on that path of changing lives. All the reason why we started a business, right? Okay, so number 3, third mistake that I see coaches and healers making is they're going too broad. So this is similar to overcomplicating the message. Overcomplicating means, I help fairy tale unicorns discover their truest magic. Like, we've all seen that kind of messaging before, where it's like, whoa, I don't know what half these words mean. This feels nice and sparkly, but I don't really know if this is what I need. I'm not really resonating with these words. So going broad is kind of the opposite. It's like, imagine you're shooting bow and arrow, and then you're like, I don't really have a target though. We'll just see where this lands. Kind of reminds me of when I was playing volleyball last night with some friends. I'm like hitting the ball and it would just like go off the wrong side of the arm and like go into the tree. Like it literally got stuck in a tree. I'm like, man, like that's not what I was aiming for. So sometimes that's like what it's like in messaging, going too broad. Point number 1, when you are broad with your messaging, you are speaking to no one. Meaning, if I were to make a post right now that says, hey, you should do breath work. Breath work changes lives. Breath work's amazing. Okay, well, that's nice. That's a beautiful thought. It's true, but it's not really speaking to one person to tell them to do anything. So be more direct, be more specific, have that bow and arrow streamlined so you know exactly who you're speaking to and what you're communicating. Point number 2 is speak to one type of person when you're making content. So this live right now, I am imagining the beautiful client that I just had the call with, because we went over a lot of this stuff and I'm like, man, I hear this all the time. Like, more people need to know this. I'm just gonna go live and teach this now. So speak to one person, like have that person in your mind, speak directly to them. A lot of people tell me that it's really hard to come up with content that is free, but it's not in their paid group. So just imagine that you're speaking to your paid group. Imagine their faces are on the Zoom screen. That's all you have to do. Okay, point number 3. Use quotes or paint the picture that conveys their issue better than they can even describe their issue. So this is where you can use quotes like, let me think of a good example. If your client struggles with anxiety, you can use a quote like, here's the post. I was recently speaking with a client and we were working on their issues with anxiety. I remember when we started the call, she was telling me things like she was losing sleep over feeling, and then quote, feeling worried about the future, feeling concerned that she was going to lose everything that she was working towards, wondering if it was even worth it. Like, those are 3 quotes that perhaps this client in this mock situation has said that I could pull from. So anyone who's thinking that, like, whoa, I agree. I have been wondering if I'm just going to build all this stuff and then it's going to be taken away. Like, that's a legit fear of mine. When they read that and they're like, whoa, I resonate, that's really where you can reel them in, keep them reading, and then at the end, invite them to do something next with you. I highly recommend that. So you don't have to use quotes all the time. You can paint the picture, which is like, I totally get it. You're lying in bed and you're stressed out about the next day, when really you should be feeling like relaxed because you're in bed with your partner and it's been a beautiful day and you've just had the most romantic dinner, and instead of enjoying the moment, you feel like you're being pulled out of the moment constantly, worried about what tomorrow is going to bring and spiraling because of not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring for you. So like, notice how I paint the scene. It's like, imagine you're an author, you're like writing Harry Potter. Imagine how she paints the scene. She's like, okay, this is what Hogwarts looks like, and this is what it's like, and here's who's there. You're painting the scene, and then people are like, whoa, I resonate with that scene. I've been in that scene, and I didn't even know I was in that scene. So again, to recap everything, top 3 mistakes that coaches and healers are making in their business. Number 1, they are climbing the value ladder too early rather than just going with the golden offer. Number 2, they're overcomplicating their messaging. Way too complicated, way too many words. And number 3, they're going too broad, not speaking to one. So I hope this helps. Angelique, thank you for making all the comments and the notes on your takeaways here. For everyone who's watching the replay, just go into the Facebook group and you can see all the notes that you so beautifully took. So thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone here who's live, and also for the people that are watching the replay. If you're curious about the golden offer, we have it as a super low ticket mini course that you can get. That's all about building your golden offer. That's what it is. Feel free to message me your golden offer and I can send you the link for that if you want to check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. And then, yeah, if you are like, wow, I'm really curious about my messaging now. Am I overcomplicating things? For the next 24 hours, I would love to invite you to message me on either Facebook or Instagram and send me one of your recent posts, and I will voice note you, like I would any of my clients, some feedback on that post. So I'll let you know who you were speaking to, if you were speaking to one or none, what the main takeaway was, and we'll be able to dial it down and see like, okay, was your intention of that content actually achieved or not? And it'll be really valuable for you to be more aware of what you're bringing to your audience in the future. So I love you guys so much. I hope this is helpful, and I will see you guys later. All right, bye everyone.